Okay, in lab number 5, what we are going to do, we are going to use the lambda function to implementing a serverless architecture. The lambda function is going to trigger when anything we upload to Amazon S3 as well as DynamoDB, and then we will configure the SNS which will send the notifications as per the trigger happen. The scenario which we are going to implement in the lab. So what we are going to do in this lab, it will look like this. As soon as we will upload the inventory file to the Amazon S3 bucket, the AWS lambda function will trigger and it will read each and every line or the entry we have in that file and get that data inserted to the Amazon DynamoDB table. We are from the dashboard using the Amazon Cognito authentications. We can see the report here, and as soon as the data get entered into the DynamoDB table, the another AWS lambda function will be executed if they found the trigger, and then that lambda function will invoke the SNS, the notification service, which then can be send an SMS notifications or email, or may even call another lambda file. So this is something which we are going to achieve here in this lab. So the task number 1, we are going to create a lambda function to load the data. This function will read the S3 file data and then get that information inserted into the DynamoDB table. So let me go and perform the task number 1. So what we have to do, we have to create a lambda function. So let me go to lambda. So we will be going to create a lambda function first. So okay, create lambda functions. We will create it from scratch. The lambda function name, let me call it as a load inventory, which can be anything. Runtime environment, so we are using here Python 3.6, but it can be as per your requirements. Existing role, we have an existing role here, so we will choose a role called lambda load inventory role. These are the roles which get created when we deploy this lab, just for the sample. Create function. So once function gets created, now we have given a function code. So we see the function is here. We have when to trigger, we will add that later. And this function role which we associated with that role can even have rights to allow this function to talk to further lambda, CloudWatch or EC2s and all that services. Okay, so let me come to the code. So we are just deleting what we have existing, and we have to copy and paste the code which is given for this lab as an example. So let me quickly go back to our manual and copy the code. Okay. So what exactly this code is doing, if you go through this code thoroughly, it's actually reading the file into the S3 bucket, and then it is reading the every individual line and get that information entered into the DynamoDB table. This is what we have in this particular code. So once we put that code here, we will just go to save this function so that the function is created. And now we have to configure the Amazon S3 event. So we will go to the S3 services. So let me go to S3. And we are going to create a bucket. And we will then configure some event on that so that the same lambda function can be called. So create bucket, and bucket name, as per this lab, we have to name it as a inventory dash. Inventory has to be like this only, dash. After that you can put certain number. The reason why this has to be like this, because the code which we copied into the lambda function, it is going to read the bucket which has name like this. So that's the reason only it has to be written like this. And then we simply click on the create. Bucket name is given, and then we'll simply say okay. that we have a bucket. So inventory dash the number, random number, which is unique number, is created here for us. Now we go to the bucket, and then under the properties we will see here a events. Fine. And in the events now we will going to see the add event name. So let's say the name is load inventory, load inventory, and then object created all when you want to execute this event, and send it to, we will send it to the lambda function, and we have a lambda function called load inventory, and that's what just we have created the lambda function in our previous task. So we create event on this S3 bucket that object created all will send to lambda function, and that this is the name of the lambda function. Fine. So we'll just click on save button. Okay, so now in this way we have events enabled on the S3 bucket which we have just created, which is going to then invoke the lambda function. Okay, so we have this event ready. That means now this event is going to act as a trigger for that lambda function which we have created. So now we are going to upload a sample file to this S3 bucket to see whether it is behaving as expected or not. So we go back to the lab manual, and there is a sample file given to us. So let me download this file, and then if you open this zip file, we have these are the comma separated files inside that. And now what we have to do, we have to upload these files to the S3 bucket. So let me go back to S3 management, go to inventory and say upload, add files, and we know that we have files under the downloads, and there is something called inventory files. Fine. Okay, so let me choose Berlin and say upload. Fine, so it is done. One file is uploaded, and maybe we can do one more file, upload, add. Let's say we add one more. Okay, now if we go back to the S3, and then if you go to this here, okay, so the files are uploaded to S3 bucket. Now let me go to the dashboard, and the dashboard we can see here in the lab, we have a dashboard URL. So let me just copy it, and let's say paste it here. Okay, so we'll see here there are certain lines entered here, Berlin, as well as for the Springfield. So if we go back and let's say we are uploading one more file, for, let's say, Karachi. As soon as we are uploading this file, what's happening exactly in the backend, it is triggering the event, and that event is calling the Lambda function, which is reading the lines from this particular file and getting it updated into the DynamoDB table. And the dashboard which we are right now able to see is actually reading the information from the DynamoDB table file. So remember, last time we have 2 stores, but this time we have one more now, as in Karachi, and this is there. So now the dashboard is coming up and we can see the information available here. The next thing for us is now we have to configure the notification. What we want exactly, we want, okay, so if you go back to the lab here, and if you look at actual view here, so we are up to here now, but we want whenever the information or the items in the particular inventory is as not as per expected numbers, we want it should also trigger the SNS. So let me configure now the notifications. So to configure the notifications, we will go to the SNS service, and then we will create a topic. Right. And when we create a topic, we will give the topic name. So let me name it as a no stock, or it can be of any name as you wish, but let me call it as a no stock. Okay, topic. Okay, so topic is created. Now we have to define the subscribers. So create subscriptions, and we are using protocol as an SMS, and let me put the mobile number. So let's say mobile number and create subscription. Right. So once we created the subscription, let me put one more as another subscription here as a mail, and put the email ID for test. You can use your own email ID which is functioning right now, so that you can check it. So as soon as you create, you will see here the email notification is confirmation is pending from the subscriber side. So we will just go ahead and accept it, and then we are good to go to move next and test the thing. So let me quickly go ahead and accept the mail confirmations. I'll do it from my other device. So as soon as I will go to this and say confirm the subscription. Okay, I have subscribed. So if I refresh it here, we'll see now the email is also ready. SMS is also ready. Now let me go back and configure this with the Lambda function. So we are going to create one more Lambda function which will actually check the stock, and if it is below certain threshold, it will call the SNS to send the notification. So let me go back to Lambda, and this time we are creating another function here from scratch. Let's say we call it as a check stock. Again, we are using Python 3.6. We have role called existing role, and the role name is check stock role, so that they have permissions on the relevant services which can be used to do the job. And now we have to again copy the code which is for this check stock. So let me go back, and here we have code given which is actually reading the data from the table, and then whenever they find that the stock is not available for any certain object in the inventory, it will trigger the another notifications to us. Right. So once we copy this code, we will go ahead and add the trigger. And what we want this time trigger, we want trigger should be DynamoDB. DynamoDB. Fine. I click on the DynamoDB. Now we have to configure DynamoDB informations. So we have a table called inventory, and then we just simply go ahead and click add. Fine. So we say the inventory table, as soon as the info is written to inventory table, it will invoke the check stock lambda function, and this stock lambda function will then perform the check, and whenever they got the trigger, they will going to update the SNS for that. So we've saved it. Now we are going to test this file. So let me go back and upload the files to S3 bucket. We have uploaded previously a couple of files. So let me upload a couple of more files to that. So let me say this time we use Calcutta. Upload. So as soon as this file is uploading, the first lambda function is triggering to get the data updated into the DynamoDB table. And as soon as the DynamoDB table is getting this information, it triggers another lambda function which is checking for the stock. And if the stock is not as per threshold mentioned in the checklist, it is going to call the SNS, which is your notification service, and then it is going to notify the user by email or SMS, whatever you have configured, if there is any problem. Right? So we'll upload the file. Let me upload some more file. Upload. Let me say put one more file. We have this Ocean and Shanghai. Okay. Upload. We can upload all them in one go, no problem. Open. Upload. Okay. So all the files are uploaded. And now we go to the inventory system dashboard here, where as of now we have 3 stores in the list. But if we refresh now, because we have just uploaded few more, so we should see now we have more list available here now. And now if we check the mail or the message, there should be some options. So let me go to the mail, and I will see there is a email for inventory alert. And if you see this inventory alert, it's saying that the cushion is out of stock for Echo Show, and even the Shanghai is out of stock for Amazon Tape. Right. So this is the notifications which I'm getting here on the mail, as well as I'm getting it on my phone as in a message, because I have configured the SMS trigger also. Right. So this way we can see how the whole services are integrated and performing the task, and we don't have any EC2 in this picture deployed. No VPC, no EC2. Right. So this is entirely serverless architecture, where we are able to keep track of the inventory, and if anything goes below the threshold even, we are also getting the update from the system. Right. So that's in lab number 5. So what we have done exactly in this labs, let me quickly go back to that page. Yep, this one. So we have as soon as we are uploading the inventory files to S3, one of the lambda function which is triggered on the event in S3 when the file is created, it read the lines of that file and start entering that data to DynamoDB table file. And using this dashboard, we are able to see that information. Then we create another lambda function which is actually triggered when we enter the data to DynamoDB table. And the job of this lambda function is now to read the table in the DynamoDB, and wherever they got any object in the inventory is below the accepted value, it is triggering the SNS to send the notifications. So where the notification, like now it's an SMS, but it can be email, or there are multiple options. So that's it in lab number 5. Thank you.